How's it going, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now this is a quick tutorial on how I edit my Minecraft videos. There's been a few people who are asking, hey Brandon, how do you edit your Minecraft videos? So I'm like, I'm just going to do a quick video and show you guys. So I've just recorded a mass episode of Pixelmon Survival. So first of all, of course, in Sony Vegas is what we're going to be using. I'm using Sony Vegas Pro 13. I will be doing a Premiere Pro version of this if anybody needs me to, because I am planning on switching over to Premiere Pro myself. But of course, I'm just going to do this today, and I'm just going to show you how I edit my videos. So of course, you've got to drag and drop in all of your videos, your video files. So I've got my webcam. I've actually got my webcam border, which is another thing I use. They're pretty much the three things that I use, and then of course my music, which I just at the moment use I actually silence the in-game audio for the music, and I actually put my own in, so it's a continuous. So there is the Pixelmon music. So of course it varies. We're based more on the Minecraft side of stuff. This is just what I do. So you've got your audios, your webcam, and your video. Of course, first thing that goes in is your border, which is the first overlay on top, following your webcam. Of course, you can audio sync as you go in. So if you drag and drop all of your files in like so, this is the first thing I do. And then you let them build the peaks, which it usually takes a few minutes or so to actually build the peaks for the video. And then it actually shows up your audio. Now, you have to actually, as you can see, I've got really long gaps in this. This is where I took breaks in the episode, and I just continuously recorded. So it is an hour long, but it will get shortened down. I usually stop and start, but it's a lot easier to just continuous and then chop it as soon as you go into the editing. So I'm just going to finish waiting for the peaks to build. And then down at the bottom, we've also got our Pixelmon music. But obviously I will extend that again. And I'll add the other one in on the end, like so. I do overlay these, so that is something I will get to in a moment, but just need the audio peaks for this video. There we go, the peaks are built. So now, always make sure you've got the previewer open, otherwise you have zero idea of what you're actually editing. So if I focus just on this screen for the moment, so as you can see, the mini map is on this. It actually gets hidden by most of my webcam, which is great. But in terms of trying to sync it, that is a good question. Now really you just have to listen. Normally the peaks would be a lot better, but if I just quickly play this, and as you can tell straight away, the music is far too loud, so make sure you turn the decibels. I usually turn them to about 30. 30 is about average, what I use in my videos. So there's the 30. It does sound particularly loud. There's my first three. So as you can see, my first peak 3. There's one peak and there's the other peak. So I'm just going to sync those up straight away. This is what I have to do all the time. There we go. So that should be synced. And it just completely deafens. I will try and mute that out. And then I can click U and delete that. So that is now all synced up. The video is synced. I can drag it to a point where I'm happy. And I can pull that back. So there we go. So that is now synced. The audio and the webcam is now synced. Now for this to actually match, I'm going to first off put my webcam using this. It's called the track motion button. Now this is a very important key. It's this one right here, and this allows you to shrink and also move to where you'd like your, well, in some cases it's videos. In this case it's going to be the webcam there, and then we could do exactly the same thing for this. Now you have to watch for the timeline, because if it's like here, it will start shrinking as it's going along. So make sure you've got your timeline at the beginning. Drag that back to the beginning, and then we can shrink that down. So as you can see on the preview, we can see it shrinking. You just have to get really accurate. I mean, you can set presets up here, which is an option. I have it all set up for Race Crash Johto, so I can just click and it sets everything in place just how I like it. This should near enough fit perfectly, if I remember correctly. I think there's just a little bit of outline. So to fix that, if your webcam doesn't always fit, I made sure it didn't fit. It brings up this monitor. So you have to click this one at the end. It's called Event, Pan and Crop. And this is at the end of all of your video files, so you can do it for in-game as well. And these are what you use to cut and crop a lot of your background. As you can see, obviously that's far too much, but you have to balance it out on each side so it looks perfect for you. I'm actually going to pull that back out a little bit more. So there we go. That is my webcam now all sorted. It's in the video where I want it to be, and it's also, everything is synced up. So if I click play here, and as you can see, it's a little bit loud, I can turn this one down. This is the master settings, and that turns the whole video down. But you can also do it down here also. There's this one, you can pull it down from the top of there. Again, you can turn the decibel down on the side. There we go. So it is accurate, it's all synced. I'm actually going to turn my decibel down so it's like that separately. So they're all synced. Now, if you want to do fade-ins, I always do fade-ins. So if you go to the top of all of your things, so you've got this little icon, fade-in, offset, and you can stretch it to wherever you like. Now, I usually do for about 1 second, sorry. So if I drag everything over, I can do the same with the audio too. And I usually click there like so, just so I can get it all perfect. All in perfect place. So that's everything. That all fades in. Now if I click it, I'm actually going to mute that audio for a second so we don't have me saying, hey, how's it going, or whatever I say. So there we go. That fades in, and you've got the background music going on. Now, next thing I look at is, obviously, like I said, with the audios, I actually overlay all of them. So I go along and I just slightly overlay so it fades the music over into the next track. So if I just show you here, I just solo play this. And it just slowly fades over again. Same with this one. Each track's different, so you have to get it perfect. You can't just drag it like I did. So that was a very abrupt finish. So if I was to drag it back a little bit more, and that was a bit more nicer. That was a lot nicer, in fact. So if I do this for everything, of course, some tracks finish with a lot of ending. So if you can test out, all different tracks do different. See, that's got like quite a long ending. If I did it from here, and you can just hear it, and it'll fade in. This one will take over as soon as it hits the middle. There we go. And obviously you're getting a quick sneaky preview of what I was doing in this episode. This episode actually goes out tomorrow. So for those who are interested, again, I can just overlay it. And I have to do this for every single audio track. So if I have a lot of tracks going in one episode, then I have a lot of overlaying to do. But it's easy enough for me to do now because I pretty much do it for every episode that I do. So you get used to it. You pick up your own little tips and tricks as you're going along through editing all these videos. Of course, this is just how I do it. Everybody's different, so they'll all do different. Again, I fade in at the end, and I make sure all of my audios are correct. So if I quickly... There we go. So I have to go through now, and I have to remove all these points where I've actually cut the video. So if I go through, there are several points throughout the video. So I just cut them all, and then I can delete them in progression. I give myself a little gap, a little leadway. So when the video's overlay, it's not like, oh, and we just literally jump straight into the sentence that I'm talking about. So a 54-minute episode this is currently. I don't think I need it. I don't need that little bit. I've been talking to someone. Let's see. Cut it all the way along. It is a little bit tedious here and there, so I can delete that bit. This bit I don't need. This bit, and that, and then there we go. So this is the result of the episode. So now I have to do exactly the same thing as I did down here with the whole overlaying business. But make sure when you're moving these, you move them together. Otherwise, it'll sound weird or it'll look weird. So if I show you here just quickly. So there, as you can see, it's not. I didn't jump straight back into the video. I didn't like, oh, and here we are, and it's just it gives you that bit of a leadway, so you don't sound like you're talking over yourself. That can be a little bit irritating. I've noticed some people do it, and I don't know. And sometimes, see, I can overlay that perfectly, and there's a little bit of a gap in between. And obviously, make sure your webcam, if you use webcam, not everybody uses webcam. If you don't use webcam, then it's still the same process. You don't have to move. You don't have this to top and the whole sync process at the very beginning. So this episode should be around 20 minutes or so long, by the looks of it, or possibly 30 minutes long. That should be about it. That's a bit too much of an overlay, personally. We'll do it about there. Yeah, it's going to be about 25 minutes long. Let's just quickly finish up this last bit, and then I can pull everything back into some sort of order. There we go. So that is going to be the end of the video there. And I drag this back, and I know a few people might not be very interested in this, but a few people have asked, and I said I would go ahead and do this for them. But here we are. So if I drag this back, we sync everything to where we want it. We check where the actual end point of the episode is. There we go. So I usually pull it in a tad bit because you usually hear me hit the end record button. But there we have it. So that would be how I edit my episodes. And then, of course, you jump into settings and stuff. I render at 1080p 60 FPS, so my settings will be a lot higher. If you use this button here, just above the, this is where you set all your settings up. I've got 1080p 60 FPS on a lot of my Minecraft videos now, so my settings will be a lot higher than yours. You just have to play around with what fits your PC best. Of course, if you've got a higher end processor, then your PC will be able to render things a lot better. So I can go ahead now, I can save this into my folders, and I can call this Pixelmon Survival Episode 2, and I can save that, and then I can render it out whenever I'm ready. Again, render as. Again, I have very specific settings. I usually use the Sony AVC MVC. These settings, and it's usually under. This is again. I change it. That is that's actually wrong. That should be 60 FPS. That was a little bit wrong there. But if you look, it shows you all of them. I usually use this. It's usually the internet ones, which are the better settings. But obviously, you have to modify the settings to match your PC specs. So yeah, just have to have a play around with them. If you want to know any specs that I could, settings I could give, I'll link them in the description below if you want me to. That is something I could do, but that is how I edit my Minecraft videos. Hopefully you found this very not inspirational, very helpful in your editing, and I hope this will prove very useful to you. So thanks again for coming out to watch, and I appreciate the support on all my videos, of course. But for now, have a wonderful and safe day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of whatever video it may be. See you guys then.